Unveiling the Hidden Self. An introduction to Jung's shadow. We all have parts of ourselves we don't like. Carl Jung called this our shadow. It's the dark side of who we are, the parts we push down and try to forget. Do you feel like that sometimes? But here's the thing. Our shadow is still a part of us, and it's powerful. Jung believed that our shadow holds the key to who we really are. It's not just the bad stuff, it's also our hidden strengths, our untapped potential. The parts of us that are too big, too bold, or too different. We push these away because they scare us, or because others told us they weren't okay. But when we hide our shadow, we hide a big part of ourselves. We become less whole, less real. It's like trying to be only half a person. Can you relate to that? That's why Jung said we need to face our shadow, to look at the parts of ourselves we've pushed away. If you want to live more in alignment, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more valuable content on becoming a better version of yourself and transforming your life. The birth of the shadow. Roots in early childhood. Our shadow doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It starts forming when we're very young. As little kids, we're full of energy and life. We feel everything deeply. We express ourselves freely. But then the world starts to shape us, to tell us what's okay and what's not. Maybe we're told that big feelings are bad, that we should always be nice, that it's not okay to be angry or sad, or maybe we learn that we need to be perfect to be loved, that making mistakes is terrible, that we should always put others first. These messages come from everywhere, from our parents, our teachers, our friends, from the TV shows we watch and the books we read. So we start to hide parts of ourselves. We push down our anger, our sadness, our wild energy. We try to be perfect, to always be nice, to never make mistakes. We do this to fit in, to be loved, to feel safe. Shadows in daily life. How our dark side shows up. Our shadow doesn't stay hidden all the time. It pops up in our daily life, often when we least expect it. Have you ever gotten really angry over something small? Or felt jealous for no real reason? That might be your shadow talking. It's those moments when we act in ways that surprise us, when we do or say things that don't seem like us. Sometimes our shadow shows up in how we see others. We might really dislike someone for no clear reason. Or we might be drawn to people who have qualities we wish we had. This is called projection. We're seeing parts of our shadow in other people. It's like our hidden self is trying to get our attention. Our shadow can also show up in our dreams, in the characters we love in books or movies, in the things we're afraid of. How does your shadow show up? Write it in the comments for the first recognition. The price of denial. Consequences of ignoring the shadow. Ignoring our shadow comes at a cost. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes a lot of energy, and sooner or later, that ball is going to pop up, often in ways we don't expect or want. When we push away parts of ourselves, we create inner conflict. We're always fighting against ourselves. This can lead to feeling tired, stressed, or depressed. Denying our shadow can also make us feel fake, like we're always wearing a mask. We might look good on the outside, but inside we feel empty or lost. We might struggle to connect deeply with others because we're not showing our true selves. This can lead to loneliness, to feeling like no one really knows us, not even ourselves. Ignoring our shadow can also lead to sudden outbursts. to moments when all those hidden feelings and traits burst out. This can damage our relationships. It can hurt our career. How does your shadow show up? Do you recognize it? Write it in the comments below and share your thoughts with us. The path to integration. Embracing our whole selves. So, how do we start working with our shadow? The first step is simple. We pay attention. We start to notice our reactions, our feelings, the things that bother us about others, the parts of ourselves we try to hide. This takes courage. It's not always comfortable to look at these things, but it's the start of real growth. Next, we need to get curious. Instead of judging our shadow parts, we ask questions. Why do I feel this way? Where did this come from? What is this part of me trying to tell me? This curiosity helps us understand ourselves better. It helps us see that even our bad parts often come from a good place. They're trying to protect us, to help us in some way. Then comes the hard part, acceptance. We need to start accepting all parts of ourselves, even the parts we don't like. This doesn't mean we act on every impulse. It means we stop fighting against ourselves. We start to see our whole self as valuable, as worthy of love and respect. The journey. Within tools for self-reflection. Now that we understand why shadow work is important, let's talk about how to do it. There are many tools we can use to explore our shadow. One of the most powerful is journaling. Writing down our thoughts and feelings can help us see patterns. It can reveal parts of ourselves we usually ignore. Try writing without stopping for 10 minutes each day. Don't worry about spelling or grammar. Just let your thoughts flow. Another powerful tool is meditation. Sitting quietly and watching our thoughts can show us a lot about our shadow. We might notice judgments we make, or feelings we usually push away. The key is to observe without judging, to be curious about what comes up, even if it's uncomfortable. This practice can help us get to know our whole selves better. Art can also be a great way to explore our shadow. Drawing, painting, or making music can bring up things from our unconscious. Transforming darkness into light. The benefits of shadow work. Doing shadow work isn't easy, but the benefits are huge. When we start to accept all parts of ourselves, we feel more whole, more real. We stop feeling like we have to pretend. This brings a deep sense of relief, of coming home to ourselves. We start to feel more comfortable in our own skin. Our relationships improve too. When we're not hiding parts of ourselves, we can connect more deeply with others. We become more understanding, more compassionate, both with ourselves and with others. This leads to richer, more satisfying relationships. We're no longer afraid of being found out, because we've already found ourselves and accepted what we found. Shadow work can also unleash our creativity. Often our most creative parts are hiding in our shadow. When we bring them into the light, we tap into new sources of inspiration. We might discover talents we never knew we had, or find new ways to express ourselves. This can bring more joy and meaning to our lives. Embracing your whole self, a call to courage for transforming your life. As we come to the end of this journey, I want to leave you with a call to courage. Facing our shadow isn't easy. It takes bravery to look at the parts of ourselves we've been hiding, to accept the parts we've been ashamed of. But This is the most important work we can do. It's the path to becoming whole, to living a life that's truly ours. Remember, your shadow isn't your enemy. It's a part of you that's been waiting to be seen, to be heard, to be integrated into your life. It holds not just your struggles, but also your strengths, your hidden talents, your deepest wisdom. When you embrace your shadow, you embrace your whole self. And that's where real power comes from. Start small, pay attention to your reactions, to your dreams, to the things that bother you about others. These are all clues about your shadow. Be curious, be kind to yourself. This is a lifelong journey. There's no need to rush. Every step you take towards knowing your whole self is valuable.